postseason is just around 1 month away, and as the Phillies are gearing up for one more month of regular season baseball, there's a pitcher they are reportedly eyeing up that has playoff experience, but he would have to be signed today. Yes, not tomorrow, not the day after. He would have to be signed today, the last day that players are eligible to be active for the postseason that are claimed or signed is if they are signed before September 1st. Obviously today, Sunday, August 31st. Sunday, Phillies have a Sunday night baseball game tonight against the Braves. But Phillies have about 12 hours to make this decision if they think this specific pitcher could help them win more games down the stretch and into the postseason. That pitcher that I am talking about is Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler, obviously former Dodger for a while, got a little bit, roughed up over the last few years, went through a surgery, missed all of 2023. But the big report coming out today from Matt Gelb of The Athletic saying the Phillies have expressed interest in veteran right-hander Walker Buehler. This is what Gelb wrote in his story. He said the Phillies have expressed interest in veteran right-hander Walker Buehler. Multiple major league sources told The Athletic. Boston released Walker Buehler, who had a 5.45 ERA in 112 and a third innings earlier this week. The 31-year-old righty has not pitched well for two consecutive seasons, but he comes with extensive postseason experience. He pitched 5 scoreless innings to win Game 3 of last year's World Series and was on the mound to close out the decisive Game 5. Walker Buehler must sign with a team by Sunday to be eligible for this year's postseason. He'd cost 1 month's worth of the big league minimum, $760,000. It would be a dart throw, but excuse me. But the Phillies have the roster spot to attempt a low-risk salvage project. Yes, the Phillies do have the roster spot, and this is a move that kind of just makes sense. What I say there, it would cost the Phillies under $1 million to get Buehler in the building. A guy who has proven himself over the years that he can pitch and can specifically pitch in the postseason. Yes, I know it's been a little shaky for him the last year or so, but when you go down these stats over the years, he still has a 3.56 career ERA in the regular season. When you get to the postseason, it's even better. He has a 3.04 career ERA. He had a 3.6 last year for the Dodgers. Obviously, like Matt said, he pitched 5 scoreless innings to win Game 3 of last year's World Series, and he was on the mound in the 9th inning to win the World Series for the Dodgers. And I mean, if you look down this Phillies sort of roster as far as bullpen right now, I think it would make a pretty good amount of sense to at least give Buehler the shot, see if he can figure it maybe out as a reliever, for the last few weeks of the season into the postseason. Obviously, your top 4 guys at the top, those guys will be on your postseason roster. Duran, Strahm, Kerkering, Banks. Jordan Romano obviously hit the IL with some right finger inflammation last week. Still screams to me that he won't pitch again for the Phillies this year. I think this is the nice way of telling him he's not pitching anymore other than just cutting him. Jose Alvarado will be here for the rest of the regular season, but will not be eligible for the postseason. David Robertson will obviously be here. And then you get down to the bottom with guys like Daniel Robert and Lou Trevino, who are currently on the roster. But, if all things go according to plan, both of those guys probably will not be in the postseason bullpen. So right there, you have Duran 1, Strahm 2, Kerkering 3, Banks 4, Robertson 5. Right now, you have 5 guaranteed guys that will be on your postseason bullpen roster. Obviously, maybe one of the starters will head into there. Taijuan Walker will probably technically be a bullpen guy in the playoffs. But, it seems like they have a spot here. They also could have a spot on the 40-man. Right now, it's 40 spots filled. But if they were to sign Buehler, they could transfer Zack Wheeler to the 60-day IL, which would take him off the 40-man roster. And that would open up the spot for Walker Buehler. For me, it just feels once again like a no-brainer because you go down and you look at these stats, and I understand, right? 2024 with the Dodgers came back after missing all 2023 and got roughed up. Granted, the Dodgers won a World Series, and he had a really good postseason for them last year. But regular season, 5.38 ERA with a 1.55 whip, 64 strikeouts, 28 walks in 75 and a third innings. Signed with the Boston Red Sox, made 22 starts, 23 appearances. He's 7-7 this year with a -1 WAR, 5.45 ERA with a 1.56 WHIP in 112.1 innings with just 84 strikeouts. Walker Buehler, obviously not the same guy he used to be as a starter, but I think if Caleb Cotham and the Phillies coaching staff start to work with Buehler over the next little bit, if they were to sign him, I think they could find a spot for this guy in the Phillies bullpen. Obviously, I don't think you're going to see these numbers anymore from Buehler in his career. Looking back, I mean, he had some great years with the Dodgers. 2018, a 2.62 ERA in 137 innings with 151 strikeouts. 2019, a 3.26 ERA in 182 innings, 215 strikeouts to just 37 walks. He had a 2.47 in 33 starts. In 2021, 212 strikeouts and 207 innings. Is that Walker Buehler here still? I don't think so, unfortunately, because he wouldn't be available for a team to sign him if that Buehler still was here. But once again, this is a guy that has proven success in the playoffs. He knows what it takes to win, and the Phillies could use another arm in their bullpen. I think right now, I think I'd rather take a chance on Walker Buehler finding it in a bullpen spot over a guy like Lou Trevino or a guy like Daniel Robert, who have never really pitched a big game in their entire lives as far as Major League Baseball. This move would just make sense. I think it would bring another righty into the Phillies bullpen, which they can never have too many righty relievers. Obviously, you kind of spur the lefties in here and there in Strom and Banks, but having a bunch of, good throwing righty relievers, I'd take, once again, Walker Buehler over a guy like Daniel Robert, Lou Trevino, Jordan Romano. I would take a chance on Walker Buehler before I would like to see Jordan Romano back on this roster. So, the Phillies will have some decisions to make. Once again, the Phillies are reportedly interested in Walker Buehler. Buehler, once again, must sign with a team by Sunday to be eligible for this year's postseason. So today, he would have to sign in the next 10 and a half hours to be eligible for the postseason, but it would be a small cost. He'd cost 1 month's worth of the big league minimum, $760,000. Once again, like Matt Gelb said, it would be a dart throw. But I think at this point, the Phillies, who are trying to win a World Series, would throw a dart for $750,000 to potentially get a guy that has proven success, has pitched in the playoffs, and has a track record of respect across this league into their bullpen and potentially a new role in a city where I think would eat up a good Walker Buehler. I think Phillies fans would love what Walker Buehler brings from an energy standpoint, and if they could find a role for him potentially in this bullpen, I think it would be a no-brainer for me. So, once again, if it happens, it will happen here over the next 9-10 hours. I am headed down to the game, Sunday Night Baseball game tonight for Crossing Broad back at the stadium tonight. But if anything happens, Sean Bernard will be on it for you guys here on Phillies Digest. Once again, if you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Just 64% of our viewers that are watching are not subscribed. So under this video, go down, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, whatever you guys want to do. Let us know how you've been liking the videos recently, because we are gearing up for another postseason run. The Phillies hold a 6-game lead in the NL East on the New York Mets. After getting swept by the Mets, they only lost 1 game in the division standings this week after losing 3 games to the Mets. But this has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. My name is Luke Arcaini, and I will see you guys next time.